Good morning. It's Thursday morning. I am down to the nitty gritty on getting these porch pickup items and bundles ready to go. So the last one is record flowers. And as you can see, I have littered my entire kitchen floor with records. But I gotta get this done now because I have sourdough loaves that need to be baked at about 11:15. So I need to get done with my oven. So I'm going to show you how to make record flowers, and I'm going to show you everything that I have available to put together little kits. Okay, so you want to set your oven on 200. Those were the instructions in the book, and normally when I'm baking something, I set my oven less, but here I kept it the same, okay? So what's going on here? Got a turquoise record, and don't do like me. I handle them with my bare hands, but they're really tough and leathery. So anyway, you can use a pot holder or a pair of tongs would work, and I have an extra bowl set up here on top of the stove to help me form. So I just put this in here maybe 5 minutes ago. It's ready to come out, and I'm just going to kind of put it up here. Now you can do some extra forming here. So I think I'm just going to let this one pretty much go, but I don't want it to be so open. So I'm going to take that bowl away, and I'm just going to mess with this a little bit here until it starts to cool some. Just keep your fingers moving quickly. You could wear a pair of leather gloves to do this, or winter gloves, whatever. It's not really all that hot. So I want my outside edges to turn up, but I don't want it to be totally cupped inward, okay? So, because I have a plan for this turquoise record. So, black flowers. Is that really cool? Like, they actually look... So, this one is going to go with my turquoise flowers over here that have red knob centers. And before we go do that, we're going to pop the next one in the oven. Okay? It's 10:54. Record is going in the oven. And I want to push that back, push the pan back, and that side looks better, so let it face forward. And so 10:54. All right. Okay, so here's one that's finished. It's really simple. It's just a faucet knob, and I have bolts and nuts. Oh, Kale put this together for me so it's not tightened down all the way. But when you don't have a lot of layers, I don't require a lot of washers on the front or the back. This is just really simple. One bolt, one nut, one faucet knob, and one record. Okay? So for this guy, okay, it's 10:56, and I need my pot holder. This guy is already flexing down, so that took 2 minutes. Now, I tried doing this a different way to start. I tried putting them inside a big enamel bowl. You could put them inside the bowl too, but I feel like this way they melted down much faster. I wasn't waiting as long. So I'm going to shape this guy a little bit more. It's going to be pretty. So these plain black ones, I've been trying to decide exactly what to do with them. I have a couple uses for the just plain black. They have the black circle in the center. Back to these being records being black. I used to make these like the very first year or two that I was doing Junkyard Farm Girl, and man, I sold the heck out of them. I sold a lot of these things, and they're still around. But those are all still alive, and that was like 9 years ago. So that tells you how long these last. Quite a while. This would be a great craft for you to do with your kids or grandkids, and it would be like a treasured memory later. Hey, remember when we were quarantined and we made flowers out of records? So anyway, plain black with the black center. I say don't spray paint them. I think it's a waste of, what is the chemical, fluorocarbons, stuff that's in aerosol cans, and a waste of color. I think these are really neat because they pick up the light and stuff, and what you do in the center of them is really what makes it art, okay? So these plain black ones I thought would be really neat with these just really big knobs. Look how big that is. It's huge. They're like 4 to 5 inches across. Here's a yellow one, and here's a blue one. And I guess I should just put that big red one with these. So we'll just do that. we'll put the big red ones with the black centers. And then, so it'll just be red small knobs available with the turquoise. Another thing to do with the records that have the black center in them is I have these. They're yellowish, creamish, beat up, chippy, awesome. These are metal rosettes, and they would go like that in the center. I think it would look so neat to have just like a dozen of these stuck somewhere out in my flower bed. But you can also turn this over to make it rusty, and it lays differently. It's more cupped outward, and you could leave it like this and just bolt it, or even add something in the center, and we'll get into that a little bit more here in a minute.
I got my loaves of sourdough in the oven, and just because I'm messing around in the kitchen, somebody thinks that he needs treats. All right, bud, roll on. I don't have anything for you.
So most of these are really simple to put together. There's one that's a little bit more in depth, but it's no big deal. Now these will be hung with a piece of wire that you'll attach to the back, and I'll show you how to do that.
Okay, we're going to go through some color choices here, all right? Record and knob for the center. This is the black record, and these are the large faucet knobs. If you want me to put together a kit, which would include the knob, a record, and the record will be flat. It won't be bent yet. So knob, record, bolt, and nut. So and then the piece of wire. So everything you need to put these together. So this one, I'm going to call this red snowflake. This is the red flower, yellow flower, orange flower, blue flower. Okay, so there's 5 of that one available. This is a black record with these tin rosettes, which you can either put color up or rust up. Okay, so these are the same as the others. They are $8 for the kit, so everything you need to finish it, and then $10 if you want me to finish it and have it ready for you. These are the turquoise records. Look at all these. These are crazy. You are welcome to tell me which one you want. These are all individual ones, different ones, and then there's a lot of that kind right there, which is pretty cool looking, with a red in the center. Let's just grab one. Like that. So these are $5 for a kit, or $7 finished. There's the one that we had already done, that Kale did for me. This is a red centered record, and it's got a sprocket in the center. And I had to do a little bit of work. Like, there's a smaller washer down in the very bottom of the sprocket, like way down in there. There's a smaller washer to keep it right in the center where it needs to be, and then another washer, and then a simple nut on the back, and it'll have wire on it too. So I'll send everything you need to get these put together. These are $5 for the kit, $7 finished. There's another red record that just totally, it bent up completely differently. And I gave Kale a piece of cheese a while ago, and she came back in here and said, I wanted 2 pieces of cheese, and stepped on this record and broke it. So they are brittle once you shape them. I just wanted to show you this. And actually, I think I might just make this one up into a flower and keep it just to remember the good times. Here's a purple record, and these are just some beat up, rusty knobs. This one's actually yellow, but it's just all rusty looking from being out in my junk shed. So you'll have your choice. This one's just rusty, this one's yellow, this one's blue rusty, and then this one's an orange rusty. And I can take it off of that. I don't have to keep it on there. But this one is another that is $5 for the kit and $8 for the flower finished, okay? Purple record, rusty knob. Now, the last one that I have assembled is freaking amazing. So this has 2 records. And this one, you have to be, this is more of a challenge. You want to make the others first and then mess with this one, because this record I bent to go in the channels of this. See, there's channels on each side. And so I bent this record to fit in those channels. And that is a super long bolt going down through the center. So there's 2 records stacked together with the rosette, and then a faucet, like a kitchen sink knob. And then a faucet flower for the center. So this is an orange faucet flower. I'm gonna have to figure out what flowers could go with this. Hang on. Okay, so they would have a red faucet knob on them. So it'd be red in the center instead of this orange. I could take this one apart and let somebody have it if they want. So there's 4 of these available. So that would come with 2 records, the 10 piece, this piece, and then the faucet knob, and then of course the bolt, any washers and nuts, and a wired hang it. It's $12 for the kit or $14 finished. So this is my favorite because I just love the colors. I went out and grabbed a stack of records and I started going through it and sorting the colors. I just love sorting things by color. It's one of my things I love. Stony Stamper, look at all these yellow, awesome records. There's one there in the back I kept because it's really interesting to me. But okay, so there's blue, there's yellow / orange, there's some silver and white back there. I've got a lot of red. There's a stack of black ones. This back here is all labels that are done in like a rainbow sort of theme. So those are kind of neat because there's a lot of color in the center of them. And then that one. It says Harvest Records and has a bouquet of wheat on it. I thought that'd look cool just hanging in any farmhouse. So I don't know, I might have to keep it. So if you just want to get some records from me to do this and have your own other materials to finish them, they're $4 a dozen or 50 cents each. I have a huge stack and I can just take the stack and put it out in milk crates and you could go through them and get the one that you want. Now here's a couple other shapes that came out easily. The records all melt differently depending on the material that they were made with. This one has a lot of little frills in it and you can shape these. Like I think this one had like 4 main creases in it and I went while it was drying and did these other little divots with my fingers while it was cooling. Okay, so this turned out really cute. This one is pretty simple. It's very deep. See, I look at them beforehand. Some of them are dusty and dirty. So I just flip over the good side and make that face down in the oven. So there's those. These are some, we took apart a grandfather clock or a door chime or something, and these were the chime things from inside it. So something like that set inside one, that looks like a flower to me. Or you could even take and figure out a way. These bolts I don't think will fit in this hole. I think they're too big. Yeah. But you can maybe use wire or even a smaller bolt to join all that together. So there's just an example. I have a bunch of these. I could take a short bolt like that and weld onto here. Yes, baby? I'll get you a second slice of cheese in a second, okay? Okay, so like that. I could weld that on there, and then it would go in the center of a flower like that. Doesn't want to stand up. There, like that. Or things like this. This is an old knob plate, and I used the knob, but I didn't use the plate, and so this was just out in the junk shed. It's had a mud dauber nest on it. This could go in the center with pure joy, y'all. Pure joy. Cheese. 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 So you probably got all sorts of junk out in a junk drawer somewhere, if you're like me, that you could dig into to make some pretty cool record flowers. So if you want some of these for porch pickup, just let me know. And I can also ship the materials for a kit or several kits. And if you want a dozen kits or something like that, like let's say if you want 6 or more, we'll work a deal out, okay? Okay. The one thing this video is missing is just a basic how-to, okay? So, I'm going to start with my back record. The one thing this video is missing is a basic how-to. So, I'm going to start with my bolt, my front piece, then the piece that goes underneath that one, and so on and so forth.
this piece fits right in those channels. And this one goes over the back. Now, if you order this kind of flower, there's 3 different lengths of bolts for the long ones, and I'll probably just send one of each bolt. And you can use the one that works the best. So from there, I'm going to put a flat washer on. And then I'm going to take this piece of wire, and it's already bent in half. So I'm going to lay it over that and just kind of twist it around the bolt. One twist, okay? So if you see that, it's just twisted around it. No big deal. Then I'm going to put another washer over it. And then I'm going to put the nut on. So with this piece of wire, you can hang it on a fence like it is, or you could drive a stake into the ground and then anchor it to the stake. Now, so my piece of wire is still just like it was. I'm going to cross it on around like that, and then it's ready to do whatever. I usually like to twist it, give it a little bit more strength. And so basically, I'm just holding this from the bottom. If I hook it over like this, it's going to hang like this. Or you could just hook it onto a bolt on a fence or something like that. That's how you do it. If you have some neat little things that you think you might be able to make a record flower from, but say the hole in the center is too small, bring them out with you. You can hand them off to me, and I'll take them to the junk shed and blow a bigger hole in the center for you. Okay? So some of these faucet knobs that I had on hand, hang on. I have a whole bunch of faucet knobs. Okay. So a lot of them, the hole's just too darn small for those bolts. So I'm going to put this out there. Everything is out there on the porch now. So you can choose what you want for your kit and pay accordingly. You can kind of build your own kit. You don't necessarily have to stick with those colors that I was laying out for those, but it was just a good example. All of them were. So if you want something like this, or any of these, or if I run out of the other ones that have the big enough holes and you need something, we can get you all set up, okay? Or you can bring your own stuff and I can size it for you. Finally done baking. Finally got everything carried out of my kitchen floor, and it's on the front porch, organized, ready to go. We're going to go through it real quick. Okay, it's really windy out here, so I hope you can hear me. I'm going to talk loud, probably louder than I need to. This is my front porch right now. Excuse the mess. We live here. I have children. Okay, so here's the pink mailbox that you would put any money in if I'm not here. If I have everything all stacked up for you, it'll usually be right here or over here where Bud's laying. So, records are right up here, and they are set out with the piece of paper with them, each different one, the prices, all that good stuff. And then here's the extra stuff down here, parts and pieces, and a basket of records that you can choose from, besides all these that I have set out here. I have like all the colors set out here, so there you have it. Hit me up.